So retention strategies, you guys, you need to figure out, I call it glue in the seat. How do we get glue in the seat with these guys? Well, first and foremost, communication is critical, non-cash rewards, flex time is great, and long-term incentives. I'm going to go into more detail on these. So the first one is communication. And one of the things that a lot of us don't realize is that the world has changed, and we now have, our employees have access to salary information 24/7. In fact, if I go online and I'm online for more than 30 minutes and somebody doesn't have a pop-up that says, hey, is your employer ripping you off by underpaying you, then it's kind of a weird day for me. So, employees are getting that information, employees are seeing that information whether we like it or not. And so we need to keep that in mind. And when I first started tracking this index, the Googling salary surveys on Google, probably about 6 years ago, it was around 3.5 million hits that I got. Now I'm getting 44 million hits when I Google salary surveys. So there's a ton more information out there than ever before. Your employees know it. How many of you have had somebody come to you with internet data saying, hey, I'm being ripped off? Yeah. So so what we can do is we can communicate about how we're handling things, what we're doing, what we're paying attention to, and give them some confidence in the fact that we're on top of it. The other thing that, especially for small business, and I just again had this experience this week where people's eyes are as big as saucers, but the National Labor Relations Act and Washington state law both say that non-supervisory employees cannot be prohibited from discussing wages. So if you have a policy, and I have seen many of them in my career, that says you're not supposed to talk about pay, that is illegal. It is a labor violation according to the National Labor Relations Act, and a lot of people do this. So be careful with that, okay? Communication research. So what most of us don't realize is that the more we talk about pay, the happier our employees are. You don't have to actually give them more money to make them happy. You can actually just explain more about how you make those pay determinations, and they will be happier. So you can see where employees report active communication, their pay satisfaction goes up. In fact, they did a study where they had one company that was paying 5% below market, another company that was paying 5% above, but the 5% below company actually did more communication about pay, and pay satisfaction was actually inverted. Even though they were paying less, employees were happier with their pay. So it's important that you guys can actually save yourself a ton of money by communicating. Problem is, most of us kind of do this, yeah, that looks close enough for government work, and we dash out the door, and we don't really have something that we're comfortable communicating because it's kind of in our heads. So if you can formalize those processes and establish some additional information, it can be really helpful, and it'll save you from having to pay extra money unnecessarily. And on the pay communication continuum, what is how much do I make, but how did you decide, and why did you decide that's what I make? That's what I want to know. That's what the employees want to know. What happened, there was a longitudinal study done like 25 years ago. What employees would do if they were concerned about pay, the first thing they would do is they would talk to their supervisor. What do you think employees do today? No, actually, they shop their resume. Oh. The first thing they do is they put their resume online. Boom. So you don't want them doing that. So you want them to be confident that your pay is fair, and how you do that is you explain your processes and why you do what you do and why you make the decisions that you do. So non-cash rewards is the Snuggie of our compensation plans. I know it's the warm, fuzzy, part of our compensation plans. And Michelle alluded to this a little bit earlier, but I'm gonna take just a minute to talk about a couple pieces here. First of all, everybody loves cash, but when it comes to your bonuses, nobody can remember what the hell they did with your money. So, so you can see here, like, the first thing that most people did with their bonus is they paid bills. The second is, I have no idea. The rest is, you know, we're not really sure. So, and I've actually interviewed at a couple of companies. I interviewed one group of executives. They made between $25,000 and $75,000 in bonus, and I was asking them, like, you know, what did you do, how to get it, and how much was it? And they're like, yeah, you know, they're not clear. And employees are even worse sometimes. You know, was it $200? Was it $1,000? You know, I don't know, because what happens now, right, is my significant other or my life partner is the person who does the checking or the bookkeeping, and so it's automatic deposit. What do I know? You know, I just, you know, we have a good month, okay, yay, maybe we didn't spend as much this month. People don't have a lot of attachment to it. So if you're going to give bonuses, I know payroll people will not hate me for saying this, but please give them a live check where they have to actually sign the silly thing and take it to the bank and actually remember cashing it. It's so much more effective than having it deposited and going off into some account that somebody else manages